Story 1. The fitness community is less judgmental than many people expect. There is often more toxicity among those who take pride in not going to the gym. Quality gyms offer a more positive environment than discount gyms. Story 2. Rest and nutrition matter much more than I realized. I used to believe that it was solely about pushing harder every day, but recovery is just as important as the workout itself. Story 3. Nobody is actually watching and judging you. I used to feel paranoid when I went to the gym initially, but everyone is just too busy looking at themselves in the mirror. Story 4. 90% of the gains come from sleep, nutrition, and avoiding ego lifting. The other 10% is just grunting loudly while trying not to cry during leg day. Story 5. How much it has helped me mentally. It feels like taking an anxiety medication 5 minutes into the workout. It lasts for days, and now I am noticing my behavior trending in a healthy direction. Story 6. It doesn't matter what happens in the gym if your nutrition is poor. I wasted years of good workouts by going back home and eating unhealthy cereal. Story 7. Consistency is key. Build a habit. Even if you go to the gym and look at the weights, then go home, it is better than not going to the gym at all. Story 8. Being in shape has saved my life numerous times. It has helped me through 6 brain surgeries, pregnancy, cancer, and disc replacements. I am 51 years old and can bench press 200 pounds and still do pull-ups. I am 5 feet tall and weigh 106 pounds. I will never quit. Physical discipline also provides mental strength. Story 9. The optimal workout routine is ineffective if you don't enjoy it. Choose an activity that motivates you to go to the gym or exercise. Whatever makes you look forward to being active is the best program for you. If you select a perfect, scientifically optimized program that you dislike, it is not optimal. Story 10. You cannot work the same muscle every day and expect it to grow. You need to give it a rest day between workouts. This is why most people will do chest and back one day and legs on another. Story 11. Good form and body mechanics will save you from injury. I see people lifting more weight but with improper form, and that is not impressive. Story 12. All that matters is showing up to the gym. That's it. To that end, the routine you will enjoy the most, or at least not enjoy the least, is the best routine. Full stop. And that means stop worrying about details. For real, you might barbell bench press, dumbbell bench press, use a machine, or do many push-ups. Are you doing it? That's what counts. Is anyone on the face of the planet ever going to know or even care if you did full squats or leg presses or Bulgarian split squats? No. The only way you will fail is by not showing up at the gym. The best way not to fail is to keep your streak at all costs. This means you may have lazy, half-hearted workouts sometimes, or maybe you just sit on a bench and take a nap before going home. So what? Good job. You made it to the gym. Half-hearted workouts performed over time will produce great results. Even one trip to the gym just so you could check your phone and go home will help you make it again tomorrow, which will in turn keep you from losing your streak and failing to return. And even if you come to the gym with the intent of not doing anything hard, every now and then you'll surprise yourself and achieve a personal record. Believe me, it happens. So don't worry about optimization. There are countless alternate versions of you doing better routines and getting better results. So what? Good for them. If you're improving over time, that's good enough. Keep going. Just show up. Story 13. I am 37 and have been lifting since I was 14. You will discover how positively the gym can impact all aspects of your life. The one more rep mindset. Whether you are in school, working through hours of writing an essay, or persevering with that one more rep mentality, you improve. You become a better parent, a better friend, and a better human being. Life's challenges become a bit easier to cope with. If you can push through the struggle of a squat rep, pushing yourself to the brink of exhaustion, you develop a stronger, more resilient mind that can handle the hurdles life presents. Story 14. No single workout routine is suitable for everyone. My friend follows a routine of 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions per exercise, focusing on one muscle group each day with one rest day per week. He takes protein, creatine, and a pre-workout supplement. This routine works for him. He has gained significant muscle size and strength. For me, I work out 3 days a week, targeting multiple muscle groups with a routine that includes one set to failure at about 75% of my maximum weight. I have seen my greatest gains over the past year using this approach. I get my protein from food, avoid creatine, and I have a double espresso before workouts. You need to learn what works for your body and what foods fuel you best. Story 15. Calorie deficiency is key to weight loss, and certain workouts prioritize the process of burning maximum calories. Story 16. Form versus how much you can lift. Also, listen to your body and do not push it. If you need to stop early or skip a day, do so. Story 17. Some annoying tools think we need to hear their personal phone conversations while we work out. Story 18. Anyone I have talked to who feels sad, stressed, or depressed shares a common issue. They do not exercise. It does not take hours. Short workouts each day can work wonders to help boost your mood. Story 19. Short answer. 1. Do not fall into the obsession or hustle culture around working out. Being healthy is simpler than many want you to think. Do not push yourself too hard. Consistency is more important than perceived effort. No proper form for exercises or you may injure yourself. Long answer. 1. Much of the fitness world, especially fitness content, is fixated on hustle culture, particularly when trying to sell you something. They exploit insecurities and drive obsession. You do not need to be obsessed with fitness to use it to enhance your life. If you engage in it, that is fine, but it should not be your primary focus. The core concepts of health are very old and straightforward. Do not get lost in a sea of new studies, diets, and conflicting information. Eat healthy foods and stay active. If you want to lose weight, simply consume fewer calories than you need. Many believe you must feel exhausted after exercising or sore after lifting weights. You do not need to make yourself sore or fatigued to achieve progress at the gym. In fact, those feelings can slow you down and increase the risk of injury. Feeling somewhat sore after lifting can be normal, but the goal is to understand your limits. This way, you can exert enough effort for gains without overdoing it and risking injury. Even if you only spend 2 minutes on a treadmill, that is better than not going because you do not feel like doing 20 minutes. This concept is discussed in the book Atomic Habits. Essentially, break tasks down to their simplest level, which lowers the psychological barrier to starting. The hardest part is getting started, but once you do, you are likely to do more than the bare minimum. For example, if the task is to go to the gym, the initial step is simply driving to the gym, walking in, and then you are unlikely to leave without working out. This approach also reduces stress about goals. It is essential to know proper form before exercising. If that requires hiring a trainer once or twice or asking experienced lifters for advice, do it. You will never regret spending a small amount to prevent a sprain or a torn rotator cuff. This is especially important when lifting near your limits, as those who do not know proper form may resort to incorrect techniques, which can lead to injury. Story 20. I have a valuable insight I learned recently. It's not about keeping your heart rate elevated for the entire duration of your workout. That adds stress to your body and can inhibit weight loss. Now I do slow and steady workouts and monitor my heart rate. It's less mentally draining and seems to be yielding results. Story 21. Bracing your core when you squat is fundamental to safety and maximizing effectiveness. I had never heard of it until I asked a gym employee to check my squat form. Story 22. The gym is a place to train your mind and grow as a person, as well as your body. I find it's as much about my mental health as my physical health, and I'm sure many people at all levels of fitness would agree. Story 23. Resting and recovery are extremely important, regardless of how young you are or feel. You need to rest and give your body and muscles time to rebuild. Stretching before and after workouts is also key. Story 24. Exercising and maintaining physical fitness are essential for career growth. You will be amazed at how much further you can advance in life by prioritizing your well-being. Story 25. How addicting it is, how much better I feel each day. Proper form is always better than a higher weight, and no one in the gym is looking at you or judging what you're doing. They are all too focused on their own workout to worry about yours. Story 26. Nobody cares what you are doing there. Everyone is more concerned about trying to achieve their own gains. Story 27. I always see people say that no one is looking at you or judging you, and that is just not true. The distinction I always make is that the people who are there to work out, whether it is to get bigger, stronger, or just healthier, are the ones who aren't judging you. I have been going to the gym for a decade now, and I observe people all the time, but it is never a negative thing. Unless they give me a dirty look, it is often me seeing someone move a weight that looks heavy for them and mentally thinking, good job, or something similar. Generally, I believe the advice that no one is watching you is completely wrong. Story 28. It takes a long time and a lot of discipline to see the results you want. You may realize that you may not ever get there, but you keep going anyway. Story 29. I learned that 1 out of 10 people don't think a workout counts unless you bring a large tripod to showcase yourself on Instagram. Story 30. Hypertrophy training appears to be the opposite of powerlifting. The correct form is defined differently. In hypertrophy training, less weight is used. What matters is time under tension. The goal is to achieve eccentric contraction in the lengthened position. In contrast, powerlifting focuses on moving the most weight from point A to point B. Story 31. Form and technique are more important than the weight itself. The weight increases progressively once you master form and technique. Additionally, mobility and stability work are very important as well. Story 32. Proper form is essential. If your form isn't correct, reduce the weight. I often see individuals at my local gym using improper form while attempting to lift heavy weights, and it does not look good. Story 33. Posture and form are critical not only to prevent injury, but also to ensure you are effectively challenging the muscle you intend to work. It is important to control the negative phase of your lift. For example, when curling your bicep, lower it slowly on the way down. Apply this technique to every exercise to promote faster muscle growth. Additionally, consider increasing your protein intake significantly. It took me a long time to raise my protein to an optimal muscle building level. Story 34. No one knows what happens after you achieve an 8-pack. You may experience a significant increase in sex drive and an endless appetite. Regardless of how strong you become, there may still be moments when you feel weak. Story 35. If a machine you want to use next is in use, the probability of the machine you plan to use after that also being in use will be very high. Story 36. Only about 25% of gym influencers know what they are talking about. Genetics matter. They are not everything, but they are important. Sometimes showing up consistently is better than showing off a few times. You need to find the right balance of variation and progressive overload that works for you. For some people, hitting muscles 2 to 3 times a week is effective, while for others, once a week or every other week is better. Story 37. Prolonged diseases or illnesses can cause muscle loss in your body. It should not prevent you from going to the gym. It's okay to not look like a professional athlete or be overly muscular. A workout is still part of the fight. Story 38. I enjoy lifting weights, but many factors made me dislike gym class in school. Additionally, this can be quite addictive. Story 39. Low and slow. Use proper form with low weight and slow repetitions. This approach will yield good tone and strength. I also prefer free weights and cables because they work more of the muscle groups. Story 40. Even a low-effort workout is still a good thing because maintaining the habit of going to the gym leads to results. Story 41. How my natural love for it so easily became an unhealthy addiction that I base my entire self-worth on. Story 42. My wife thought I was too skinny when we were dating and after we got married. She appreciates the weight I've added in upper body muscle. Story 43. Just like in other aspects of life, a minority of loud individuals give gym enthusiasts a bad name, including issues related to sexism, misogyny, and inappropriate behavior. Story 44. The connection between muscle and mind is crucial. Proper form and a strong connection can enhance efficiency in your workouts. Story 45. Diet is more important than ever when it comes to fitness. Your total daily energy expenditure is 90 to 95% influenced by activities outside of the gym. Aside from the cardiovascular aspect, gyms have limited impact on body fat. Story 46. It will inspire you to eat better. If I am going to take time out of my day to wake up early and go to the gym, I will not ruin it with junk food at lunch. Story 47. You should build your program around 4 pillars of improvement: physical, intellectual, social, and emotional. Your physical improvement will be obvious. You will enhance your brain by studying and researching. You improve socially as you learn to navigate the environment of the gym. The emotional improvement is not what I was expecting. I feel better about life and about myself. It motivates me to reach back and help others more. After more than 10 years in the gym, I might not appear like a bodybuilder, but my soul has become resilient. Story 48. How much time it takes to lose weight or gain muscle depends on your caloric intake. If you are not eating the right amount of calories, you may struggle to see progress. For years, it felt like I was taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. It still feels that way at times. Story 49. Take rest seriously. You don't need to be inactive on rest days, but you need to let your muscles recover. Story 50. I once took a weightlifting class to become more familiar with different exercises. The class lasted about an hour, but after about 35 minutes, I thought I was going to vomit and pass out. The coach told me to go to the gym's juice bar and have them bring me an orange juice. I asked about the orange juice later, and the coach said that I worked out too hard and lost some essential nutrients, and that the orange juice provided a quick sugar rush to help me recover. I still don't know the exact scientific reason, but I now realize that if I work out too strenuously, I better have orange juice, Skittles, or something similar just in case. Story 51. Dynamic stretching before exercise can help reduce the chance of injury. Static stretching after exercise can help reduce recovery time. I felt much stronger much sooner after stretching regularly post-workout. Story 52. Mind and muscle connections are challenging to achieve effectively. It took me about 10 years to realize that I was not training correctly. Story 53. If you are going to make and sustain real progress, it is about adopting an entire lifestyle shift. It cannot just be something you do for an hour a couple of times a week. Story 54. I am unhappy with my body, but people don't seem to care. Everyone at the gym is either focused on their own training or supportive of others. Story 55. You need to lift to 80% failure for every set. Simply going through the motions and not pushing yourself during a workout will not effectively build muscle once the beginner gains have stopped. You should feel fatigued after a workout, and it should not be physically comfortable. Story 56. You don't need to work out 2 to 3 hours per session to make good progress. Consistency and rest are key. What works for me is 45 minutes per day, Monday to Friday, and sometimes Sunday if I have extra time. The gym location is important. I am much more likely to go if it has a quick commute. I have tried setting up a workout space at home, but I find my best workouts are done at the gym where I am motivated by others doing the same. Story 57. How important rest is. At first, I thought it was simply a matter of training more often to become bigger faster, but working out only signals your body to produce more muscle. Your muscle cells actually grow while you are resting, so there is a point where too much training hinders your growth. Story 58. For every muscle you work, there is an opposing muscle you also need to pay attention to, especially for posture. If you are working on your abdominal muscles, you should also work on your back. Story 59. Progressive overload is essential in the gym and involves measuring your performance. Progressive overload is the scientific principle behind the story of a farmer who carries a pig up a mountain every day. If he had started at day 1 with a 100-pound pig, he wouldn't have succeeded. By carrying it each day as it gets slightly heavier, he builds strength. I used to enter the gym, bench press 135 pounds for a few repetitions until it felt right, use various machines, and choose random weights until it became challenging, then call it a day. Progressive overload taught me to track my weights, repetitions, number of sets, and rest time between sets. Each session, I challenge myself by increasing one of those variables compared to the previous session, until I reach failure or a planned rest week. Many people fear programming and calculating fitness-related metrics, but mastering this concept can make a significant difference worth learning. Story 61. Absolutely no one cares how much you lift. You should not care about how much anyone else lifts. Form and the mind-muscle connection are essential to ensure you are working the right muscles in the right way. You can make friends at the gym, or you can choose not to speak to another person there. Both options are acceptable. Story 61. When I started working out regularly, my eating patterns changed naturally. I didn't diet. I slowly made better choices over time, and my cravings disappeared. Story 62. Putting on muscle is 10% going to the gym and 90% consuming the right food. Lifting weights is the easy part. Taking muscle building seriously changes your perception of food. You understand that protein and carbohydrates are part of the muscle building process, and you won't gain size unless you are in a caloric surplus. Trans fats convert to fat in your body, while sugar slows down fat burning, and alcohol disrupts muscle building. Eventually, you start to see food in terms of whether it helps you meet your macronutrient goals for the day. The satiating qualities of food or whether you feel like eating become irrelevant concerns. Story 63. Having complete control over the weights is better than being the heaviest lifter in the gym. Additionally, stretching before and after lifting will help reduce soreness the next day. Story 64. Drinking a protein shake after your workout is not enough. Your diet is as important as your gym time and must be appropriate and consistent for maximum results. Story 65. People of all shapes and ages participate. No one pays attention to you or cares about your actions. After the first week, when your entire body feels like it's made of pain, nothing hurts, and it feels good. Story 66. Consistency is much more important than the specific exercises you perform. Focus on all your body parts regularly, and you'll be fine. Keep it simple. The mental benefits are just as valuable, if not better, than the physical benefits. Story 67. You don't need fancy supplements. A jar of protein powder is what I recommend for most people. You shouldn't need pre-workout supplements or anything during sessions if you are an average gym goer. Products like branched-chain amino acids, pre-workouts, and electrolytes are more suited for serious athletes. You will achieve better results with a proper diet, plenty of rest, and staying hydrated. Story 68. You can only follow linear progression for so long. My first couple of months at the gym were great. I was always hitting new personal records until one day I just couldn't. Even when I could hit a new personal record, it wasn't consistent. I also learned that your body only wants to be a certain size, or else it will start resisting growth. I got stuck at about 175 pounds and, despite my efforts, I couldn't add any weight. I have always had problems gaining weight early in life. I started eating about 5 times a day and cut out my cardio sessions to overcome that hurdle. I was also surprised to find the gym atmosphere to be unexpectedly wholesome. Story 69. You don't need a fancy gym to get a good workout. I like to tell people to find the workout that fits their space, not the space that fits their workout. Personally, I do 90% of my workouts either running outside or in a 6x8 space in my apartment with a set of adjustable dumbbells, a yoga mat, and a pull-up bar. The only times I use the gym in my building is when I want to use the treadmill, and that is only on really bad days when running outside would be a nightmare. Story 70. 90% of the effort, in my case for gaining weight, was in the kitchen. I have to eat so much food. It's ridiculous. I spend hours cooking and eating, and I find it challenging to maintain this routine. Story 71. How many people bundle up as if they are on an Arctic expedition just to go to the gym? What is wrong with you? Story 72. People are more supportive than you might think. I gained a lot of pregnancy weight and started going to the gym at the encouragement of my little cousin, who is studying to be a personal trainer. I was super intimidated because I had never been in a gym before, having danced and practiced gymnastics from childhood until I graduated college. Even though I felt ashamed of my body and how I looked, people in the gym community were very nice and supportive. I have really gotten into weightlifting in the past few years, focusing on power as much as on fitness. I recently hit 200 pounds on squats, and I was so proud of myself. Story 73. Perfect form for each repetition isn't always necessary when trying to build muscle. It's acceptable to make slight adjustments when lifting heavy and pushing yourself. Story 74. I have been lifting weights for 23 years, mostly for athletics. Over time, I have learned that many factors contribute to improvement and performance, including training programs, nutrition, sleep habits, stress management, and consistency. When you are younger, you can overlook some of these areas. However, as you age, it becomes increasingly important to address all these aspects effectively. Eventually, making progress requires a strong track record in nearly every area. You need to get quality sleep, maintain a balanced diet, train both hard and smart, and avoid extremely stressful life situations. This approach gives you a better chance of improvement. Diminishing returns are a reality, and you must adjust your expectations and goals as you get older. Story 75. More weight or heavier workouts aren't necessarily better. You can end up with a tendon torn from your bone, and your joints may eventually give out. Spending 8 hours a day in the gym isn't worth it for the chance to achieve a decent shape in a week, especially if you're not already there. It's not about whether you will commit 100% and punish yourself when you can't. It's about making your goals realistic enough to be sustainable. Story 76. It takes at least 10 times longer than I thought to gain weight, and you have to seriously push yourself to actually get fitter. Story 77. I am not sure if this counts because I learned it in physical therapy, but I am doing the same things in the gym. I had no idea that having a strong core could help with scoliosis and hip issues. Story 78. You should have new, nice workout clothes. Going to the gym in an old, ragged t-shirt, worn basketball shorts, and dirty shoes will not motivate you. Story 79. How much confidence it has given me, and not just because I look better. It's knowing that I am stronger, my body can do more, and I did that. Story 80. Look for smaller gyms owned by individuals who compete in bodybuilding or powerlifting. They often foster a better community, and members tend to support one another. These gyms are usually less expensive or comparable in price to larger chains. Story 81. Now that I'm doing things correctly, I am discovering new places I didn't know could be sore. Story 82. Cortisol. When you are a woman and have certain hormonal imbalances such as polycystic ovary syndrome, anemia, and fibroid issues, harder workouts can actually lead to weight gain due to stress, even after a hysterectomy while keeping your ovaries. Therefore, it is important to take your workouts slower. I maintain my heart rate around 150 to 170 on the treadmill while power walking at a higher incline. Using lower weights with more repetitions at the start can help you progress to heavier lifts more quickly. At least for me, everyone is different. I have lost 25 pounds so far by making these small changes, and I haven't altered my diet significantly. Hydration is also essential. Drink plenty of water. Stay hydrated. Story 83. I was right. I don't enjoy it. Earbuds and audiobooks help pass the time. The results are far more satisfying than I thought they would be, but I still don't enjoy it. Story 84. How painful it can be after a workout, especially on leg day. I never thought it would hurt so much. No wonder people avoid it. Diet and rest are as important as working out. Story 85. The quality of a workout can be measured by an internal bodily sense. Your body shouldn't be sore or exhausted, but rather tired or relaxed. It's similar to when you go to the beach and stay in the water for too long. That heaviness in your arms when you finally get out is what you should be striving for. Story 86. Did not expect the dumbbells to be so heavy. Why don't they make them lighter? It would make my workout so much easier. It probably has something to do with manufacturing costs. Story 87. I'm shocked at the number of people who go to the gym but sit on a machine looking at their phones instead of working out. Why bother? Story 88. Negative repetitions are just as important as positive repetitions. Speed is not a factor. Use your muscles to control the weight. If you use machines, they will only target certain muscle groups. In contrast, when you perform the same exercise with free weights, many more muscles are engaged rather than just a small specific group. Free weights, controlled repetitions, and above all, remember to breathe. Story 89. Ensure you exercise your entire body. You can either do it all at once during a single visit or break it up throughout the week. Just make sure you complete the routine. Story 90. Lifting lighter, focusing on tension and stretch, and adding more sets helps prevent injuries. Slowly rep 160 pounds 25 times on the bench and observe the growth. Story 91. I don't work out, but I saw a video about mouthwash canceling out the effects of exercise in terms of blood pressure. After exercising, your body can experience hypotension, which is beneficial for lowering blood pressure. Mouthwash may restrict blood vessels and inhibit nitrate production, which is thought to be essential for lowering pressure. I don't know how much truth there is to this, but it might be worth investigating if you are someone who regularly exercises and deals with high blood pressure. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.